The starship carrying the payload of our future has blasted off, and Elon Musk is at the helm. That is, he at least commands the Technological Libertarian Agnostic Control Board. In a recent post quickly deleted by Musk, he depicted himself as one of three so-called musketeers, along with Donald Trump and Kanye West. Some have interpreted this as announcing a new cultural triumvirate, able to sell a bare majority of us suckers on their vision of a brave new transhuman world, in which we will take the next giant leap for humankind headlong into the biodigital convergence, the singularity, taking charge ourselves of human evolution today. Let the devil take tomorrow. Charting this course, the devil most certainly will take tomorrow and eventually have it for lunch. But today, like every day, since the Renaissance, or the Industrial Revolution, or the advent of cyberpunk, or wherever you wish to begin this rite of Homo sapiens self-aggrandizement, well, after us, the deluge. In the aforementioned triumvirate, lifetime actor Donald Trump, fresh from his command performance to eliminate free speech with the well-rehearsed recklessness of his own dangerously divisive forked tongue, his coinage of the term fake news so it could be flipped on its tail side to squash real news, and the delivery of the first of many compromises of bodily integrity at warp speed, the Donald will man the board of traditional once great America, selling his snake oil to grease the political slide into the world of tomorrow. Kanye cuckolded Kardashian West, now rebranded as Ye, will shift his enormous brand power and poignantly little boy MK Ultra induced need for attention to take charge of our culture's artistic and spiritual trajectory. Our brave new world will be a transhuman one. Therefore, the post-human poster child of the GTO, Elon Reeve Musk, will bask beneath the spotlight at center stage of this faux conservative tide, lifting us beyond the niggling barriers of God and man. In this age of all things ironic, the progressive technocracy which renders all lives transparent will be ushered in behind the faces of three self-styled conservatives, one of whom, Musk, will lay down the broadest foundation for consensus. Conserving little beyond our perennial hubris and fallen spiritual state, musky conservatism reaches for the Starlink stars out there in outer SpaceX, convinced of a dubious mandate to plant geraniums on Mars. Elon is willing to trade our God-given birthright to the earth for red planet porridge, recipeed from the non-human cookbook imagination of video game and science fiction pseudo-adventures. The body of Messiah is for the most part, as usual, asleep at the wheel and heading for the turbulent falls at the edge of the world. There are indeed wars and rumors of wars, apocalyptic with China, Iraq, and Russia. The kind of buildup students of history will recognize from the 1910s and the 1930s, exploding into the unprecedented carnage of two world wars to generate demand for the League of Nations and the United Nations, incipient global governance. With our next explosion coming in a few years, Americans may better understand the chaos and hunger and civil violence so well known throughout the planet. Problem, reaction, solution. And out of this deftly engineered chaos will come our cries and pleas for an earthly savior. ABC. Anything but Christ in this now solidly counter-Christ culture. Elon Musk and those he serves will offer us absolution. In the GTO's classic problem, reaction, solution strategy, gets them every time. The solution will be the peace and order we all crave, at the price of all freedom and all privacy. Administered by a multipolar one-world state, eventually to merge with a global techno-occult spirituality. Christians, if your vision precludes you reading between the lines, this means you. It will be a biosecurity state, a full spectrum dominant surveillance society in which our capital is our digitized identity, accessed and managed by artificial intelligence through computer interfaces inextricably interwoven with our own bodies. As predictive programming is both contractual spiritual obligation and profoundly effective in social engineering ritual magic, Musk has let us all know what is coming. Heck, much of it is already here. Take the new Tesla phone. It immediately renders the iPhone and the Android obsolete. Everybody is going to want it. The features, benefits, and advantages are irresistible. The real corker, though, is that this device, along with a brain chip, will facilitate the neural link technology interface between the brain and the phone. You input commands simply by thinking them. Musk's promotional propaganda says that this capacity will be good news for people suffering from speech disorders, and it will be possible for doctors to read the still active brains of people who are in a coma. So what we need to be on the lookout for now is a huge uptick in reporting on speech disability disorders so as to grease the entry of this revolutionary ability into our lives. The National Institute of Health and other bodies are publishing papers on how the lockdowns hurt child speech and learning skills. Also on how COVID-19 can increase your risk of acquiring 44 neurological disorders, including Alzheimer's disease. This could possibly jumpstart the Elon Musk Neuralink business. So African-American entrepreneur Elon Musk, yeah, think about it, is getting his slice of full spectrum dominance through his command of electric cars, the Neuralink, the Lord of the Rings style X app, the one app to rule them all, Starlink, all to be contained in the new Pi phone. It's interesting that when you voice text or see closed caption on the name of this phone, it frequently comes out as Python, the snake. There are some who see this as the true beginning of the mark of the beast. This new Pi phone goes out of its way in its promotional material to let you know they don't have encryption of personal data, so it's going to be the only safe way to upload your biometric data. Incredibly and ironically, some see Elon Musk as the great anti-hero opposing the machine with things like this. This phone will have crypto mining properties. It plugs into the changes in the weather hysteria with its solar capabilities and therefore earns sustainable green energy stamp of approval. Once your body is connected to the internet, all privacy and autonomy will vanish. Musk also gave us previews of our future years ago when he said that we will need UBI, that is, Universal Basic Income. This income will be necessary to address 10 or 20 years of massive unemployment Elon Musk envisions due to technological advances in robotics and artificial intelligence. Self-driving vehicles will lead the charge here, putting the vast masses of people who drive for a living out of work. Technology will make goods and services cheap. The younger generations will buy into this idea of staying at home and playing games that take their biometrics and supply data to construct more effective artificial intelligence and robotics. Most people will spend most of their time in virtual reality, consuming digitized goods and services. To get us there, the GTO needs to deconstruct before the reconstruction to bring the chaos before the order. There will be massive shortages of food and fuel. Needless to say, this will be accompanied by a great deal of death and suffering. We do not have to go down this road. Conceivably, we could stop it. The technocrats do not have anything close to the technology they need to implement their dystopian utopia. That's still several years away. The body of Messiah should most definitely be exploring alternative networks of food production and monetary exchange. What stands in the way is that most of us are a little too flip. That's F-L-I-P. That means characterized by fear, laziness, ignorance, and pride. As one observer has noted, we will be able to scroll and float and be virtual anytime, anywhere, any place. And that is the new mesmerism, a new trance, the new enchanted hypnosis. Millions have already been conditioned with narco-hypnosis by opiates, THC, cocaine, ADHD medicines, powerful hypnotic pharmacological powers. There was a strategy involved in why we started putting all of our children on drugs several years ago. It was mystifying to me that we switched from trying to find out why you felt or thought the way you did to say, here, take this, take that. It'll change the way you think. It'll change the way you feel. There was a strategy involved with all that. I once again add that the word translated as sorcery in the Bible is pharmakia, from the same root as pharmacological or pharmacy. That's because witchcraft maintained all the knowledge of drugs for many generations of our history. Drugs. Courtesy of Jack Kerouac, the Beatles, Esalen Institute, Snoop and Dre, this within a technology where human beings don't really exist. Everything is rendered to number and quantified to algorithms and predictability. Efficiency will be the new morality. Through techniques based on hypnotists Mesmer and Sigmund Freud, most will learn to love their slavery, kicking back with a guaranteed income, playing games, taking drugs, chowing down on a grasshopper patty. But how long do you think it will take before the power elite of the GTO tires of all of us useless eaters? The operative elements among them, without having to divulge even to their families, maintain the capacity to unleash God knows what from the bio-warfare arsenal, and then, in the words of Charles Dickens's Ebenezer Scrooge, the huddled masses can die off and reduce the world's surplus population. In the meantime, we will have the XAP, courtesy of Elon Musk, to handle every aspect of our lives. And all we need to do is give over our identity so that all human beings can be authenticated biometrically and in terms of biomedical data. Twitter's authentication check marks the introduction, perhaps, of a universal ID that will have social credit systems built into it. The urban tracking and biometric readers that were introduced during the recent worldwide illness will become standardized. There will be more injections that need to be verified before you can be verified to go here, go there, get this, or get that. So we digitize for automation, and all we give up is our privacy and freedom. Cryptocurrency, which people foolishly believed was a way around the system, may instead be mandated by the system itself, which will have us also giving up autonomy and privacy for authentication. If there is no use of cash, then all transactions will have surveillance for your safety and your security, of course. Elon Musk sees the world as a video game through a computer screen. That is the vision he wishes all of us to share with him. We will have a world where you cannot tell the difference between a game and reality. It's all one and the same. At least for a while, until that surplus population gets reduced. Christians, you're way up there on the list. There is no place for you in the NWO of the GTO, the New World Order of the global techno occult. As a content creator has pointed out, Musk prefers the virtual world as he seems to hate nature, humanity, and the God of the Bible. He needs to be God of his own world and wants you to get a taste of that. This is Gnostic occultism, the oldest heresy there is. It is, as Ecclesiastes tells us, there is nothing new under the sun, except maybe for the lack of purpose and transcendental meaning. This is Gumbo Craig, and this is Walking Out of Babylon. All glory to the Most High God, by whose hands you were fearfully and wonderfully made. Shalom.